Welcome to my hot bank owned home pick of the day. It is the 5th of January today. This is Jesse Abanez. I'm host of Foreclosure Friday, taking you through another one of these amazing bank owned home opportunities here in San Diego County. I got a great pick for you here today, so let me get into this. Now, this guy is tucked in a little community just north of where I'm at right now called University City. And respectively, University City is I call it like a little secret community because everybody knows La Jolla. La Jolla is it's got two parts to it. There's the village down by the water, and then as you come east, just east of the 5, there's the La Jolla UTC. And the La Jolla UTC is newer. You know, it's got a lot of high density, high-rise condominium, mid-rise condominium townhomes. And then as it starts to sprawl south from there, you move into some of the more inculcated communities like Claremont and Linda Vista and whatnot. And that is a lot of the mid-century expansion that took place here on the second wave of the military expansion, which has accounted for a lot of the growth in San Diego's history. And you get a lot of older, really basic layout, detached homes, though. But it's argued that you get a little bit more community when you just keep north of that 52 landmark, that divide right there. So therein lies University City. And to find a detached home in University City that's not too old, this one was actually built in 1962, that's got a footprint that boasts 4 bedrooms and 2 baths at over 2,000 square feet. This one's actually 2144. And you can do that in that area that I'm talking about. It is a very unique opportunity. So this home in particular, if we check out the photos, you can see there it's got a nice little entryway, the hardscape stamped concrete that comes in there to the classic single story layout with the garage that's just ducked off the side there. It's a very common layout for San Diego. And more of some of the stamped concrete work that was done. And the owners of this home obviously put a lot of money into that backyard. Look at all the hardscaping, and they've got some the lush ferns and palms back there to make it a real nice indoor-outdoor for entertaining. There's a nice full fence back there. And on the inside, one thing that pops off on these photos right off the bat is the wood floors. Now, it's tough to tell from the photos whether or not those floors are actual wood or laminate. So in the meantime, we're just going to suggest that they're probably laminate, but they did a good job at picking it because they got some nice contrast and a good hue. And the hue, it conveys very nicely to the cabinet work that they did on this remodeled kitchen. And you can see here, I really love when there's enough room on that galley-style kitchen to be able to put an island here in the middle. Might not be enough room to actually do bar stools on either side of those, nor would it be very functional, but sure is a great little adaptation that they put in there, and I got their back on that. I think that's a great feature. And again, the granite countertops there and the choices and the colors they picked on the tile backsplash and the cabinets and just a great contrast of one another in the floor. And then they even did the little pantry there with the smoked glass, the stainless steel hood, gas stove, newer oven. One of my favorite parts about this is the vaulted ceilings, and they not only have a nice pitch to them, but you can see here they also threw some recessed cans in there as well, and molded that nicely with the separation there where the wood goes into carpet. Nice natural light as well, the rounded archways. That theme extended all the way through. And the master bath was redone, and they did another good job on this as well. They converted this tub to a full jacuzzi tub. They did dual vanity on this. You can't see it from the photo, and the separate Pullman there. Very nicely done. Now, what makes this property extra special is not just how it shows or where it is or any of that stuff. The price point is fantastic. Now, you may look at that number at $589.9, knowing what's gone on around here in the last couple of years, and you may think that's a little tall, and you might be right. But check out this comp right here. This is actually the most recent sale from that exact community, that exact neighborhood. And look, it's even another 4-bedroom, 2-bath, and a little smaller. It's 1,800 square feet, okay? You take a look at the photos, And the outside, yeah, it's got some great potential, but pretty much underdeveloped. I think anybody would agree. And according to the comments, anyway, the inside needs a complete overhaul. It says it right there. And this one sold for $580,000. Now, I don't like giving a lot of credence to cost per square foot, because the truth is that it'll get you in the conversation, but it's not a great barometer to measure value. However, not even taking into consideration the fact that this quote unquote needs a complete overhaul. If you take the 1,805 square feet and you put it against the sales price at 580, and then you take that same dollar for dollar cost per square foot and you apply it to my hot bank owned home of the week, the value of the hot bank owned home of the week should be in the neighborhood of $688,000. Now, there again, it's not going to ever go dollar for dollar, but even if it's remotely close, let's even just give it a ranking of 650. You're still walking into potentially almost $50,000 of instant equity. So let's take a peek and see where this baby is. And by the way, while we're at it, this is the I-5 running north-south right here. And this is Gilman. And if you notice, there is a little thing, it looks like a road that runs almost parallel along the side there of the 5, and that is the railroad tracks. More importantly, if you'll notice just to the right of that, there's another little trail that runs along the side of the railroad tracks. Folks, this is one of my favorite spots in all of San Diego County. This is called Rose Canyon, and it is such a cool spot. Now I'm going to see if I can cheat by plopping our guy just over here to the right side of this so you can see what I'm talking about. So there's a great shot of the trail right there. So here's a main bluff of University City right there. And the trail head comes out here and then runs all along the side of the tracks there, all the way up, all the way through to Miramar Base. This is one of the coolest trails for hiking, for mountain biking, for walking your dog. Just a fantastic spot. So let's plop our guy down here and see what we're looking at. So there's our guy there. As you can see, nice little community. Ooh, right across the street. That's actually a great sign right there. That's great news. So you can see now how that one is different from the rest of the ones on the block. Okay? Obviously, because, and there's another one right down there too, because it's got a second story. Now that's great news, because what that means is there's a precedent that's set in the neighborhood for somebody to be able to build up another level. And anytime you're this close to a canyon like Rose Canyon, and you can perch up and you can create a view, it's going to do nothing but add value. See, and there you can see out there in the foreground, there is La Jolla Shores, Scripps, and then right over there is Mount Soledad, where you just were over there on Monday. Now, folks, there's only one more thing that I want to make mention of before wrapping it up here, and that's the actual listings history. Now, I don't usually give a lot of credence to history, because in this distressed marketplace, it's not as great as of an indicator of as it has been in markets of the past. I won't get into that right now, but this one tells a different story. Now, if you take a look at this, there was an agent who had picked this thing up back in spring of last year, and he had this thing at $699,000 on a range price, and he got it into contract right away and fell out, and came back in and got it back into contract, went to pending, and it fell out and went back in, and just couldn't secure another buyer after the August months. Went from 690 all the way down to 609. Okay, now for whatever reason it didn't work out. Short sales, which is what that was, nationally only have about a 15% close ratio. So there's a lot that can go on that can make a short sale prevent it from closing. However, and by the way, usually it's the agent getting in the way of it. However, since he was in and out of contract so much on this, I've got to believe that he wasn't the problem. Now, there could have been a lot of moving parts, but when I see this and I'm a buyer and I'm looking at it, the one thing that I want to make sure is that if I do get into contract on this, because it's a great deal and I recommend it as my hot bank owned home pick of the day, is that do a very thorough home inspection. Because what could have happened, just speculating here, of course, is that what brought these guys in and out of contract 2 or 3 or 4 times and then never to see another contract again might have been something that those buyers found that made them uncomfortable, that made them disengage from the transaction altogether. So again, not saying, just saying. So it's a great indicator. This is when history and use of history of a listing can actually be valuable. So take a look at that. Folks, I'm actually going to be out of town for the next 5 days, and I'll be joining back with you again in the middle of next week. So enjoy your weekend.